Hello and welcome everyone to our community cohort info session. My name is Paz Pisarski and I am the co-founder of the Community Collective alongside Melia Rayner from Blackbird Ventures and Jala Alex from Thriday. I'm really excited to have you all here, and we will be recording this session as well. Today I'm tuning in from the land of the Wadawurrung people, and I am based in Torquay in regional Victoria. And I would love to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and also extend that respect to wherever you are tuning in from today. And I would love for all of you to actually open up the chat, which you can find on the left. If you've never been to Butter before, you can also click C as a shortcut. And please just post a hello in the chat. And yeah, hello, Laura, paste your name and your role. That would be amazing. And really, why we are all gathering here today is to learn more about the community cohort. We're going to go through how to apply, all the ins and outs of the program, what you get, and then also have some time for some Q&A. So how the session is going to run today is we're about to do a check-in. We always start our sessions with a check-in. I'll explain what that means, and then I'll dive into all about the community cohort, the speakers, what you get, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to post them in the chat as we go, but we'll also have time where you can jump on the mic if you would like and ask your question live. Then we'll wrap up with some next steps. I've also got a gift for everyone that we've been given to share with all of the anyone coming today, which is really nice. So hi Erin, we've got Mark, Danielle, Kush, Laura, Alfred, hey Fred, and Emily. It's so nice to see you all, and Lucas, howdy as well from UNSW. Awesome. So we're going to start with a check-in, and the purpose of a check-in is to give everyone a virtual voice. You don't actually have to jump off mute and use your mic for this before we start in the session. And really the check-in is in two parts. One, I'm just going to tell you a bit about Butter. So has anyone used Butter before? Just post a yes in the chat if you've used Butter before, or you've seen it before or experienced anything. But if you, okay, Mark has, Lucas hasn't. Okay, not yet. Love it already. Well, a little bit about Butter. So quickly on the left, you've got the reactions. So if everyone goes to the reactions on the left, you can push a number 1. You'll give a thumbs up. If you have a question, you can go to the queue and you can put number 2, which will come up with a question, but only use this during the Q&A. You can post in the chat in the meantime. We've all found the chat, which is awesome. If you haven't, it's on the left. And then you also have my favorite functionality of Butter, which is an online interactive tool. It's kind of like Zoom, but more interactive. And really, there's a section here called Notes, and you can push N, and then you can type away all your notes. They're completely private. No one else can see them. And then you can email them to yourself at the end of the session. My favorite part that I've actually only I have access to is the soundboard. So it actually brings a bit of a life. So if you want a real live applause for anyone, there's also things like that as well. So back to our check-in. So today's check-in, I would love actually just to ask everyone a question. So you'll see the poll here. This is all anonymous. So the question is, what is your current or most recent role at company? So if everyone can just take a moment to type in here, and let's just have a look of the types of people we've got in the room. So we've got some accelerator program managers, we've got an accelerator program advisor, a head of operations, head of community, a community lead. Awesome. And really, the community cohort is for anyone building a community of members. Specifically, the Community Collective has focused in this startup space, which I can explain a bit more about, but we've got community managers here, we've got events and community coordinator, a PhD candidate. Phenomenal. That's a lot of wordsmithing, I'm sure. Awesome. Okay, that's great. So we've got a bit of a read of the room, and I've just got one other question to ask you all. And this question is also anonymous, so you can post here that says, what are the skills that you are hoping to improve before the end of the year? Big question for a Thursday afternoon, I know, but just have a quick think. If you were to improve a professional skill um, before the end of the year, what would that be? And then you just click submit answer, and you can put multiple if you like, but just have a think, if you're a program manager, or you're a community manager, you're a PhD candidate, like what kind of skills are you really looking to improve at the end of this year? Is there anything really specific in this community space for your role? So we've got some skills here. We've got public speaking, we've got leadership, diversity, equity, inclusion, so important. Strategic design skills, story listening. I love that. If you're at story listening, that is beautiful. I've heard storytelling, but that's really powerful. Authentic connections, remembering people's names. I actually have some tips on that. So if you want to send me, if you want tips on remembering people's names, message me. I'll send you my tips. Community content creation, building a pipeline for engagement, understanding of and connection with new community, public speaking as well, and leading a team. Frameworks for non-community managers to understand how community grows. Yes, very important. Okay, we've got some great skills here, and we got, lucky last one. Encourage program participants to build physical community. Very important. Community is both online and offline at the moment, is really in different worlds. And strategy creation and monitoring and evaluating. Cool. We got some ambitious people in the room. Thank you so much for sharing with all of us those skills. And really, this is what all of this is about. This is why the Community Collective exists. This is why we have launched a program, is to really help you in your role build new skills. And so what I would like now to do is actually explain a little bit about us and the Community Collective. And Fred, that's a really good question. How do you define a community? So my definition of a community is a group of people who are connected by a shared interest or a physical location. And when you combine the two, it's really powerful. So with that in mind for community, I just want to frame a little bit about us at the Community Collective. If this is the first time that you are hearing about us, it is just really good framing about why we exist. So we exist to serve community builders in the Australian and New Zealand startup space. We really are helping people build stronger communities, have more impact in their communities, and create a space where they belong. How this all came about, we actually started as a meetup group, and there were 17 of us who caught up in person in between the 4th and 5th Melbourne lockdowns in June 2021. This is a photo of Emma Foster. There's Gary from Tractor Ventures. Emma was from the City of Melbourne at the time. And we came together at the Commons in Cremorne to actually talk about how hard it is to build community. There were a lot of challenges. How do you increase engagement? How do you bring more people in? How do I run interactive sessions that aren't boring online? And really, this was a support group for all of us. And Melia Jala and I came together, and we phone called all the community builders that we knew, and we asked them if they wanted help and they wanted to connect. Because all of us are managing communities, but where is the space for us to be a member, not a manager? So the Community Collective is born, and really after this first meetup, it honestly just grew exponentially across Australia and New Zealand. And today, 12 months on, we have over 300 community builders in our community. And it was enough for me personally to quit my job full-time 2 months ago to run this, to actually provide more value, because there is a lot more that we can do outside 1 hour a month, which is our meetup. We have a free meetup, which still runs. I'm seeing lots of emoji reactions, which is great. So a bit of a snapshot of where our members are from. We've really started in this Australian and New Zealand startup space, and a bit of reason why, and also how I involved in all of this. I have a background of building community for over 5 years in the Melbourne startup industry, in the broader regional Victoria startup space specifically. I started supporting migrant women to build their own businesses when they've basically moved to Australia. A lot of their qualifications weren't valid as asylum seekers, so we helped them build businesses. I joined RMIT Activator and helped run their accelerator programs, building community in person and online. And I joined Startup Victoria after that as the community manager of Australia's largest startup community. They have over 60,000 members across the network. And 2 months ago, I wrapped up to run the Community Collective full time and now build a community of community builders. So extremely meta. So we've been in this startup space and we wanted to provide specific support in this area, in this industry. Thank you, Erin. And really, this is where our members are from. Like, they're from VCs, accelerators, government, university support, big scale-up companies that are supporting startups like AWS, and then co-working spaces like Hub, Commons, WeWork, Happy Spaces. And really, we all come together to talk about how do we support founders? How do we support startups? But more importantly, how do we build community? We also do have members who aren't in this industry. So, for example, here's a exact snapshot, the data of the industry. So you can see the majority of our membership base is from the startup support organizations, startups, co-working spaces, but we also do accept people from, philanthropy and education and not-for-profits, because community building skills are transferable. Okay, so that leads us to the cohort. And really, this was born because we've been running this meetup once a month for 1 hour for 12 months, and we wanted to do more. And Melanie Jalia and I really came together and thought about what are the key challenges that a lot of people are having when building community. And we had a lot of conversations. We reviewed a lot of data, and really there was really key themes of the challenges of building community and the key skills that people wanted to learn, some of the ones that we mentioned at the start here. And we wanted to create something that actually provided actionable outcomes for you in your role, in your community, in your life. And the community cohort was born. So it is a 7-week cohort where community builders like yourself connect and level up together. So really the aim of this is to enhance your community building skills. We want to make sure that you grow your network and also learn from experts who are a couple of years ahead, 5 to 10 years ahead in building community. So you can learn from the mistakes that they made and the successes that they had. Access our resources and also create a strategy. So the details of the first cohort is it's launching in October, on the 10th of October. We'll run for 7 weeks until 25th of November. It is 100% online to make sure it is accessible and achieving our mission of supporting people in Australia and New Zealand. And we will have optional in-person socials in Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, and Auckland. The time commitment, there's 3.5 hours per week of live sessions, which are outside of work hours, so that it's either at lunchtime or after work, to really integrate with, a lot of us work full time in building community. And then there, of course, is time that you will choose to implement any action steps that you've committed to. So you could be spending, you could be working full time, and that contributes to you working on the community and actually implementing what you've learned. So why did we choose a time-bound cohort? Why not something else? Why not a different type of offering or structure? And really, we did a lot of research, and we found that when you actually carve out specific time, you have deadlines, and you actually have a group of people to rely on as accountability, we create impact and you have outcomes, and it's actually created together. So this isn't a self-paced online course. This isn't something that's like fully in person and not accessible online. This is not a one-off class and then you never see us again. This is really about integrating into your life and giving you access to the people that can help you in your role. Just going to quickly check the chat because I see a few notifications. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. We've covered all those. So this is for you if you are actively building or managing a community. So as we said, a community is a group of people connected by a shared interest or a physical location. So communities can look like lots of different things. There are many different types of community. As I've said, the Community Collective, we really specialize in this niche of the Australian and New Zealand startup space, but we will prioritize supporting these group of people, but we will also consider applications from people outside of those industries. So we've got people who are building communities at art galleries, NGV, Acme, or for different types of companies. So if you're not sure, just apply, because the application is then reviewed and then we follow up after as well. This is Fran. She's the community manager. She's actually the chief community officer at One Roof. She's a phenomenal community builder based in Melbourne. So what you will gain. So really, we've tried to nut out like the core outcomes and the goals that we are trying to help you achieve in these 7 weeks and beyond. Really, goal number 1 is to help you create an actionable strategy that you can implement in your role. Because, once you actually, let's go back to this slide. Because when you actually have a blueprint and a plan and have metrics to actually understand if you are succeeding and having impact, it's so much easier to understand if what you're building is working. We want to connect you with experts from around the world who are 5 to 10 years ahead of you. So we've really done a lot of research about people building communities around the world, and we wanted to bring them to you in Australia to make it possible for you to learn from their stories, and as I said, from what they have basically understood about building community. We want to connect you with other community builders at a similar stage, really similar to connecting founders with founders who are building businesses. Like, it's a unique space. I remember telling someone my role was a community manager and they were like, what? And they didn't understand. And so, we want to connect you with people who already have that foundational understanding of exactly what you do, and they get it. You can say to someone like, oh, no one understood how to click the breakout room yesterday in Zoom and it was awkward. And they're oh yeah, I had that experience. It's fine. And just being around people who are, on a similar, road to you are. Goal number 4, we want to help you grow your network across the Australian New Zealand startup space. Like, we've got over 300 members in the Community Collective. Obviously not every single one of them is going to go through this cohort, but we can connect you and do double opt-in intros to basically ensure that you are connected with the people that you need to be to do your role well. We want to enhance your skills. Skills are so important. They are tangible, they are transferable, and they are with you for life. It's like a muscle. Obviously, if you don't use them, they grow weaker, but if you exercise them together, they'll grow stronger. And goal number 6, like something that we've really observed with community building is this, it's kind of this like confusion or overwhelm. It can be really hard. It can be really challenging to understand exactly what people want. And, you don't want to bother people. It's quite a front-facing role a lot of the time. Obviously, there are things that happen behind the scene, but you really are a lot of the time the face of the community, the go-to contact. And really, this is about building your confidence so you can make decisions easily. And, you basically back yourself in what you're building because you've learned from people who are doing it with you. Okay, so these next 4 slide brain. I love these emojis. So this next 4 slides is all about what you get. So I've broken it up into a few different sections. So the first section is what you get online, and these are all the live sessions. So we have a kickoff call on the Monday, the Thursday, from 4:30 till 6 p.m. This will be hosted on Butter, and this will really set you up for the program. You'll meet the cohort. It's all about connection before content, because you want to make sure that you connected with the people you're about to spend 7 weeks with. Then every Tuesday at 1 o'clock till 2 p.m., this is AED time zones. We're going to have a live content session. So this is where we bring in those experts and they share their knowledge. So this will be either a presentation, an AMA, a Q&A, or a panel. And really, this is where you show up to sorry, these slides have jumped around. And you show up to basically learn. So this is more of a passive learning experience, but there's active participation at the end for if you have questions. I'm assuming the question here is, I'm assuming these time zones are all based on Melbourne time zones. Yes. Because daylight savings is the first Sunday of October, the time zones will be the ADT time zones, Erin. Thank you for that question. The cohort workshop, this is actually to carve out an hour and a half in your week on a Wednesday night to come together with the cohort and actually give you the time to implement what you've learned into your role. So this is really interactive. There'll be time to basically show up, do activities, like apply the thinking to your role, like build out the strategy. So this is really where you show up and you're ready to participate. This is an active session. All of these live sessions will be recorded and uploaded to our online community portal as well, if for some reason you can't make it live, but you'll get the most value from the live sessions. Fred, do we have a chat channel? I assume such as Slack. We're currently refining the technology stack, so I'll give you a bit more information in that element. But yes, there will be a way and a tech tool that allows you to connect and talk with the other cohort. So the in-person socials, please excuse my slides, they've just jumped around for a second. Here we go. So for the online elements, you will have lifetime access to our content library. So over the past year, we've been building this library that hasn't been released. And really, these are all the resources that has been recommended in every meetup, in all of our tech tools. And so this is a comprehensive library of like all the tech tools and resources, books, podcasts, videos, templates that have helped us build community. And this will also be an evergreen and live content library. So we'll update it throughout the entire cohort and we'll put all of the speaker resources recommended into this one source of truth. You'll have lifetime access to the online community portal. So this will have a member directory so you can understand who else is in there. There'll be the community portal is where you basically stay up to date with the program announcements. And also this will be where you find the content library and all of the recordings. The last thing has slipped my mind, so we will move on. The 6 times weekly resources and music playlists. So at the start of every week on a Monday morning, you will receive a snapshot of what's on for the week and the recommended resources based on the theme. And then we'll also curate and share with you a music playlist. So why have we included a music playlist? You might think. So music actually is proven to enhance your concentration. It's kind of like a productivity hack. Personally, I'm actually a classical guitarist. I've been learning classical guitar since I was 4, and I'm a music therapist and have played music for a lot of different people and write music for concentration. So yeah, music does make the world go round, Fred. And so really we want to give you curated music playlists for you to listen to during the week to like get you in the zone so you can do your work. So in-person socials, we're trying to build a community. Community is very special. Online is amazing, but you lose that essence. And so we want to give you the opportunity to also feel community in person. So Melbourne, Sydney and Auckland are our largest member base and where we had the most EOIs submitted for the cohort. So these will run on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 6 till 8 p.m. In real life, and there'll be in-person socials on week 1 for welcome drinks and week 7 for a celebration. So we kind of kick off and then land back together. Week 4, smack bang in the middle of the program, there'll be an optional in-person public speaking workshop in Melbourne and Sydney. You can attend as many in-person socials as you want. You can be based from anywhere. So really these are sessions that you'll find in the online community portal, and you just RSVP and pick the ones that you'd like to go to. Okay, so the next element, I'm just waiting for these slides to load, and then I will have a look at the next element. Great, so our speakers is really about, so we also have an optional one-on-one coaching and option. So there's two different options for the tracks really in the program. So you can add on, there's a select few who can basically request the one-on-one coaching, and this will be with the Community Collective team. So either with myself, and we're finalising the others for this. And we're actually giving access to cohort number 2 in 2023. And basically you will get access to the second cohort. And why we are doing that is because this is the first one we're ever running. This is our MVP. It's not going to be perfect, but we are all going to be co-creators and learn along the way. So we want to make sure that whatever we learn in cohort 1, we implement straight away in cohort 2. And we want to bring alumni back to then help the new wave of community builders going through. These are the speakers that we have brought together. So we have Judy Anderson. She's based in Melbourne. She's the GM of Euphemia, which is a family office created by Dom Pym from Upbank. She was the ex-CEO at Startup Victoria. We've got Jeff, who's from Africa. He's the product community manager at Ahoy Connect. He'll be speaking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in communities. We have Sarah Hawke. She's based in New Zealand. She's from Discourse. She worked with Rich Millington at Feverbee, and Tim Duggan, who is the author of Cult Status and the co-founder of Junkie Media. He ran so many junket conferences in Australia, and basically wrote a book about how to build a business with a community that really connects with it. Bryony Cole is a phenomenal individual. She's based in New York, and she's the founder of Sex Tech School. So she's built a global community all around the world in the sex tech industry, and she also was the head of community at Microsoft. Anna Maria is from the Netherlands. She is the head of community of Butter, this tool. So she'll be talking about how to co-create your community to increase engagement. Jahin, he's based in Sydney, and Jahin will be running the in-person public speaking workshops to improve your skills. And then we've got Lauren Kaplan, who is the startup ecosystem manager at AWS, and she also was the principal at StartMate, which is Australia's kind of the epicenter of startups in Australia and New Zealand. So really we wanted to bring together people from the startup industry, but also from completely different other industries here, and people who you can learn from. We also have Melia Rayner, who is the community and communications at Blackbird Ventures, who'll be talking on community metrics. So these are the topics. I'm conscious of time, so I'll let you read these on the website. But the only thing that I will mention about this is there's going to be a break and integration week in week 5, where there's no live sessions. And the reason why is because we really believe that we want this experience to integrate into your life, not take over your life. And so really the week is just to allow you to actually have the time and space to implement what you've learned in the first 4 weeks, and then to come back, you still have access to, the live cohort and content sessions, and really make the most out of the last 2 weeks as well. Okay, the application process is really a written application is stage 1, and you apply, and then we review it. Then you get invited to an interview with the CC team, and then you'll get an outcome sent by email. It is limited places, so we can't promise that every single person will get it accepted, and really that criterion is what I spoke about who this is serving at the start. Then you'll get the program handbook, and then we'll have the onboarding and the welcome call, and then these are the live cohort dates as well. So I'll send this PDF in the follow-up email for you to go through all of these dates. The investments, so as I mentioned, there's 2 options. You can do the live cohort, and that gives you access to all of the online sessions, the workshops, the kickoff calls. There's also the one-on-one check-in. So every participant in the cohort will be paired with another participant in the cohort, where you'll find a time each week, half an hour each week, in person or online, depending on where you're based, to actually check in on your goals. So the idea is to set goals in week 1, have your check-ins on the goals, and then we'll do a reflection in week 7 to see how we went. As I mentioned, there's option 2, where you get access to obviously everything in option 1, plus the 3 one-hour coaching sessions, and access to cohort 2. All right, last thing from me before we pause for Q&A is, we really want to make sure that this is a accessible experience for everyone. I totally understand that not everyone can afford something like this, and there might be barriers to entry. So, we really want to offer partial and full scholarships to ensure that this is accessible. Our mission is to help you build community, and if there are barriers to entry or you have any sort of concerns, please just email me and just let me know. Let's jump on a call, and I really would like to find a way that works. And maybe the dates aren't right. We've got a cohort in April next year as well. Priority is given to Black, Indigenous, people of colour, and those living with a disability. But we will obviously consider and hear out everyone. Okay, this is a quote that I want to wrap with, and it really is one of my favorites, and it says, "One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't as individuals." This cohort is really about coming together to create shared impact. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to pause there. If you have a question, you can post it in the chat, or you can go to the queue and you can push number 2, which says "I have a question," and you can unmute and ask it live. And we've got 10 minutes left for this session for Q&A, and I'll also share the recording in case I know a few people joined late as well. The last thing that I forgot to mention is applications close next Thursday, 8th of September at 12 p.m. So if you are thinking of applying, I'll put the link in the chat here, and just make sure you pop your details in before next Thursday. So let me grab those links for you, and I'll put them in here. Emily, wonderful. What a meaningful program. Oh, thanks, Em. That's so beautiful. And I know I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Do you want to unmute and let me know how to pronounce it if you feel confident to do so?
Everybody gets to learn. It's Emily.
Emily, thank you.
Thanks so much for asking. That's wonderful.
No worries. Thank you so much for joining. Des, thanks, Paz. Good quote at the end. Thanks, Des. Lucas has a question. I'll give you the mic, Lucas, and you can unmute.
Thanks, Paz. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. This may be more of a philosophical question. It's not so much about the program. And it's how do you manage your energy as a community manager? You talked about like being front and center a lot of the time, and I recognize the importance of that. I'm curious because I'm quite an introvert, so I'm trying to find ways of how to do that whilst also managing my energy.
It's such a great question, Lucas, and one that I have worked on for many years. In no way have I perfected it, but something that has worked really well for me kind of comes down to 2 things. One is managing my energy is actually about ensuring that I know my limits. So I know exactly what I can commit to in a week and what I can't. So consciously not overbooking myself with like lots of events and public speaking elements, and maximizing like 2 events a week, and really planning my time and my week on a Monday to make sure that I have time for myself. I meditate every day, 20 minutes when I wake up, and it honestly is a godsend, and really make sure that I also am exercising. I know it's very cliche, but it is actually back to basics of looking after your mind and your body. So I'm a Vedic meditator. I'll put something that honestly changed my life in the chat. It's called Mahasoma. And they are meditation teachers all around Australia, and they are incredible. And then the last thing is managing my energy is actually about being really planned and organized. I know it can be really overwhelming to do a lot of different things as a community manager. So having a really detailed plan, like I use Asana to basically build my entire workflow, and it just makes me feel less stressed because I know that I've written it down, it's out of my head, which gives me more energy and brain space to actually think about things. So I hope that helps, Lucas. There'll definitely be a lot more to learn during the cohort from everyone else about how they do that as well. So I hope that helps.
Thanks, Paz.
No worries. We've got a question. So Michelle, so not a question, but a statement. Really appreciate this, as I found a lot of courses in US and attending a workshop or webinar at 2 a.m. is a bit of a stretch for me. I totally hear you. We did a lot of research on current offerings in this space and found a lot of, found about like 10 similar ones that were predominantly based in America and England, and they're phenomenal. But I hear you, the time zones are really tricky when we're in Australia and it's a 1 a.m. till 2 a.m. session. So yeah, this is the APAC region offering to make sure that, yeah, you can join at lunchtime and you have your Wednesday night. And if you're based obviously in this time zone, got to run. Lovely to meet you all. No worries, Laura. Awesome. Are there any other questions about the cohort? Otherwise, if not, just give me a big thumbs up. And a big thumbs up, go to the reaction button and click number 1. Whoa, so many thumbs up. Okay. All right. I hear everyone. Okay. That is amazing. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to wrap up. So the thank you slide is our way of just saying thank you for showing up and being interested in what we're building. I'm really passionate about helping people in this space. I know how hard it can be to build community on yourself and roles and teams and the members. And so really, even if this cohort doesn't resonate with you, please reach out. We have other offerings, either our free meetups once a month, or we also run public events. This Tuesday, if you are a meetup member, we've got the CC meetup number 12 with Eleanor Smith, all about community tech tools. So we're literally going to dive into all of the platforms and the online tools, the automations to basically make sure that you are being really efficient and a great operator. And then we also have a panel for building community for VCs, because VCs are very distinct. VCs are phenomenal at providing support for founders, money, resources, connections, strategy, networks, a lot of different opportunities, and of course money. But they also, what role does community play in VC world? Like, do all VCs need community? What does community look like for your portfolio companies? So we've brought together representatives from EY, VC, Tenacious Ventures, and Galileo Ventures, and we'll be talking about that niche. So you can join. It's a pay-feel event, and all the donations go towards supporting our mission. And then the gift, how could I forget? So we have a gift that we wanted to share with everyone here. So if you have enjoyed Butter, I'll share a code in the post-event email that gives you 30% off for the first 3 months. If this is something that you do want to use, we were just chatting to them. They're in the Netherlands about, they're in Scandinavia, to Denmark, to make this accessible tool for a lot of people in Australia as well. And we also have CMX Summit tickets. I know it's in San Francisco, which is wild, but we've got a 50% discount code for anyone who wants to attend the CMX Summit in person in San Francisco. I'm personally going myself, so we'll share the, I'll actually just grab all of those links for you now in the chat, and I'll pop them in if anyone wanted them right now, but I'll send them in the post event email. Okay. Thank you all so much. If you want to hang around and ask any questions just one-on-one, I will be here. But other than that, you're all welcome to go off into your days. And please, if you're unsure or have any sort of hesitation, just apply for the cohort, because we'll book in a call with you and we can talk about it more. So thank you, Aika. And thank you, everyone. Have a good day. I'll be here if anyone has a question and wants to hang around.